And then J-Lo wanted to sit and like look through her performances and kind of like fine tune the whole video. And she wasn't able to come out to LA where I was at because she was in the middle of like doing things with like Jimmy Fallon and just like getting things going in New York. So they flew me out to her house.
Hey guys, I hope you're doing well. The next conversation is between me and a very good friend of mine who's behind editing the biggest and best music video in the game. And if you've seen Dinero, that is Cardi B, J-Lo, and DJ Khaled, or Cardigans by Taylor, or if you're into battle rap and you've seen BODIED, that brother is behind the editing. So I'm gonna bring him around and talk to him about a few things. And the best thing about this conversation, all the questions were sent in by you. So if you miss your opportunity to send in the questions, please make sure you hit me on Instagram, and all his Instagram details is going to be in a description. Make sure you follow him for some advice, and I'm sure you can ask him some questions. So we film everything through Zoom because my capture card have not arrived. I hope you guys like this. Make sure you go and follow him and show him some love and ask him more questions if need be. Again, this is a conversation between me and him on Zoom. Hope you like
I've
it.
got a lot of questions, so it's good to just start right now.
Sure.
And the first one is, how did you start?
How did I start? Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I started when I was little, just making videos with my camcorder, you know?
Okay.
So I've always just been into filmmaking and been doing it, for fun. And then finally got into film school and found my way into meeting different people and filmmakers that gave me a start. So I think the main way that I got in was when I met up with Joseph Kahn, and
Is the god.
yeah, he's the one that really gave me a shot and really like, saw what I can do, and he's always been a mentor. So he's the one that really kind of just like set me down the editorial path and started cutting for him, and then led to working at editorial companies and just kind of builds from there.
Another question is, what is your story? But the person who sent this question say, I see all the filmmaker looking all good, and I'm always wondering, have they struggled in the past, and what is his story?
Well, yeah, I mean, my story is very unorthodox in the sense that, like, I mean, I went to film school back in 2004 after I graduated from high school and whatnot. And so it was like a whole 10 years after film school that I actually came to LA and started doing things. So
Okay.
there was a long period of just me doing film for fun and working, different odd jobs and whatnot. But, it just took a couple of, yeah, I guess it was just time, once I moved to LA, it was time for things to start happening. You know what I mean? So,
That's good.
yeah.
And how do you get inspired?
Uh, I get inspired whenever I see something cool on the screen, anything cinematic. Those are, I get inspired when Joseph Kahn was the main person that inspired me growing up. And then stuff from Jackie Chan and Spielberg and
You,
all those filmmakers.
listen, you need to go back to your stand, man. I can't even move. It's like you're very good, man. Honestly, I see your
Oh, well,
stuff. I'm
thanks.
like, see, do you know when I was talking to
I'm
you
rusty now that I've been sitting down editing so much, but like,
last time I was talking to you, yeah, and I'm like, let me go and try, bro. You know when I try to jump, I'm like, I'm too
oh
heavy.
no.
I'm like,
Gotta just keep practicing, man.
so there's another question. See, what you doing now? Is that what you always wanted to do when you was a kid?
Yeah, I mean, I found working in commercials and music videos, it's a nice, financial stable existence, to keep working and making short form
Yeah.
filmmaking. But every now and then I get to do something long form, and it's all filmmaking. So this is exactly kind of where I wanted to be, where I'm, able to support a family and also make films and, entertain on the screen.
Just a question. What's the bigger picture? Like, are you gonna start directing, or you just gonna be editing, or you gonna be? Maybe I might see you in Black Panther 4 or something doing stunt.
you know, I'm gonna keep grinding as an editor and keep learning because I learn new things every day. Uh, there was a time back when I was into filmmaking as a kid and was looking at like all the different jobs as a filmmaker, and I thought that directing was what I wanted to do. But then I started to hang around actual directors and saw what the job entailed, and I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's for them. I think I like I think I like to put together the scenes and make films that way. Like I still dabble in people make things so easy now with the iPhones, and there's
I
different ways to
know,
just
like,
shoot stuff. So
yeah,
I don't have to go and get like a whole major production just to go and create and do
true,
things. So
true, true.
in my spare time, I like to go and just like shoot. Like I got friends who are when I first moved to LA, I had friends in the stunts and who were like trying to get into stunts, and like now they're like in Marvel movies and doing all these cool things and
Yeah.
whatnot. So I like linking up with them in my spare time and like shooting little fun things, and just it helps them practice their stunts and it helps me practice editing. So
There's
kind of
another
like
question
serves.
say, what is the most exciting project you've worked on?
Um, so far it's been the movie Bodied, battle rap movie,
I was
which was
watching
really
that. I
fun.
had to watch that last night again because it's on YouTube
Yeah,
Premium.
yeah,
Let's
yeah.
talk
That's
about
probably
that
the
for
most
a
fun.
minute. Let's talk.
Yeah.
How do you cut something like that? I was watching. I'm like, oof.
Honestly, working with Joseph Kahn, the process is usually the same no matter if it's a movie, a music video, or a commercial. I cut on set with him, and we kind of finalize and do things after we've shot. So it's a process of him creating and me fine tuning it in the edit as he's shooting it, and then we just it just there's more footage on a movie than there is in a commercial. So that's the only difference.
So every day you're on set. When they finish, they give you the rushes and you cut on set.
Actually, while we're shooting on set, I'm getting a live feed from the VTR from the
Oh,
playback, and I'm cutting that as he's shooting. And
that is
then
sick.
later on, I get the rushes and I overcut that and make changes. But I
There's
still
another
have like a basic outline.
there's another question that said, do you always have the creative control, or is always the director telling you what to do?
It's a nice balance whenever you have a director who is in tune with the editor. So with Joseph, he's got things pretty much planned out, and so I go in and I execute,
Okay.
and I go in and I go ahead and make suggestions, and it's kind of a back and forth until we have like one cohesive project. But it all comes from his genius cinematic mind. There's other projects that I work on where they'll just shoot a bunch of footage and give it to me and say, hey, make it look cool, make it look cool. So I'll do that. Um, and then sometimes it's just plug and play. Sometimes there's a commercial where the agencies kind of know what they want. You just kind of like make it happen for them. So it varies on the project. I mean, an editor can have complete creative control until a certain point, until it has to go up the ladder. So
I saw the recent car commercial you did. I just sat there. I'm like,
oh
these
yeah,
guys, these guys are something else, bro. Like you guys got
yeah.
a
I mean,
big
that's
that the budget must have been crazy on that one.
you. Well, I don't know. I don't really know what budgets are, honestly. That information kind of stops before it gets to the editor. I just get the footage and do the thing. But
I like
it's
what you did with
definitely
that.
well appreciate it. I mean, that's a lot of. It's always fun to work with good, VFX companies too, who know how to execute things, and I just set the timing for everything and choose how and when they see it. So it's fun.
There's another question about editing. What is the software you use and why?
Um, I mostly use Avid Media Composer when I'm working on big jobs like the car commercials or movies and things like that. But then I also use Premiere when I'm just cutting my own stuff and something quick or something to get out, you know, right away. I like Premiere for the quickness of like home video type projects and something I just want to like play with and kick it out to social media or something.
Yeah.
But Avid is really good with media management and having like tons of footage and knowing where to find it and controlling the storytelling. I mean, I feel like I have more control of my storytelling capabilities with Avid Media Composer than with anything else.
I feel about that with Premiere because when I try something new, I'm like, oh, it's
Yeah.
like using an iPhone and going to Android. You feel strange.
Yeah, I can
And
see that.
this other question, so what mistake have you done while editing and how did you come out from that?
Mistake? Oh, I make plenty of mistakes. That's why
I've made like
Command Z.
1,200 mistakes.
That's why that good old undo button is so useful. Yeah, but I mean, there's I mean, you can send in a whole edit and there's a mistake because that's what notes are for. They send you back
Yeah.
notes when it was a mistake, so you go and fix it.
There's one thing that happened to me recent where I edited something and I sent it to the client and he was like, "Oh no, I don't like it. Change it." And we change it again and when they watch it's like, the one that you did before was better. Does that happen to you?
That happens almost 90% of the time. That's kind of just I mean, everyone is not as decisive in knowing what they want as a
Yeah.
filmmaker like a Joseph Kahn or a Spielberg. A lot of people just, shoot for the stars and see what happens, and then they think they want something, and then they look at it and say, "Oh, well, maybe it was better the other way." And that's kind of what you have to do as an editor, is show them the options. Never get rid of your first edit or your first or second edit, and just
That's
have
something that
make
I've learned
make
recently.
copies of it. Yeah, never get rid of it. Just make changes, see if they like it. That's
So
kind of how it goes.
let's go back to Bodied. How many days, like take me through the process, like how many days, like it's
Well,
such an amazing thing to think that this person that I'm talking to right now is behind. Do you know when I watch this, I'm like, rah, like take me through the process. Like how
it's
many
a lot
days?
of yeah, it's a lot of fun. It was a 26-day shoot, so we shot it in 26 days. It was fast and furious. So I think we shot a lot of the like college and you know subtle scenes a little bit first, and then we kind of like backloaded a lot of the battle raps. And when we started getting into that, it was a lot of there was one scene in the very beginning scene was very structured the way Joseph shoots his scenes. I mean, most of the movie was structured, but that one was like his Joseph Kahn Spielberg scene where we kind of like shot it and I cut on set and we kind of like staged every single frame. And then a lot of the other battle raps were kind of like multicam and kind of just the way you would shoot something live, except he would add his flair in there in some places. So, I just kind of like ingested the footage as he was shooting it and kind of just started cutting. I mean, there was really no rhyme or reason to what I was cutting on set. I was just kind of grabbing footage and like seeing what felt right. And then by the time we wrapped and I can like take the footage and sit with it and find ways to tell the story, then I can like tweak things. But on set, those 26 days, it's just a matter of getting the footage and making your best first cut.
What would you say is your most challenging project that you've done?
Most challenging.
Yeah.
Um, I mean that was probably the most fun and most challenging, just for the amount of footage there was and the amount of time that we had to try to get it out. I mean, we worked on it for probably a year or so before it came out, just the fine tuning. Like the final edit was done a week after we shot, but we
Wait,
kept
a
tweaking
week
it.
after you shot it?
Yeah, I mean we had a rough cut after shooting because we were cutting on set, but it was not a complete cut. So we
Yeah.
were tweaking it and fine tuning it. I mean, we had like a cut that we started showing people a week later, and then we started like showing people and refining it, and then tweaking it, adding music and changing out music and things like that. Showing it to Eminem, and there's just a bunch of different like things we had to do to like actually get the movie out. So there was a lot of different tiny changes we did throughout.
That's very dope. I'm very proud of you, man. Honestly, when I watch your
Oh,
work,
appreciate
I'm
it.
like, rah.
Yeah,
That
man. Well, we've been friends online for a
I
little bit.
know.
We've both been watching each other's work, so it's been fun. Yeah,
I, I might fly there after COVID. Are you guys in lockdown?
yeah. We are. Well, you know what? I'm in a smaller town outside of LA now. I
Yeah.
moved like back in October, so I'm not like in LA. I'm like a little bit outside LA, so it's a little bit more loose out here, where people wear masks and everything, but everything's not completely locked down where I'm at.
Okay.
But in LA, everything is just like shut down.
Another question. Do you prefer to edit films or music video and why?
I've been a fan of movies since as long as I can remember. I think I got my first VHS tape when I was like 3. Remember my neighbor bringing it to me. I think it was
Oh,
Ninja Turtles. So like I just love movies, and every time I work on something, it's to me it's a small movie. Music videos are small movies,
yeah.
commercials are 30-second movies. So like that's where my heart is. So if I can make more movies, that'd be great. But I enjoy doing music videos and commercials mostly.
I love commercials, but now I'm literally in the house every time. So
Yeah.
there's another question here. It says, I'm skipping some because I've asked them. For someone who wants to buy an editing computer or laptop, what would you recommend and what do you edit on?
Well, I edit Avid, and that's just because I have the hookup for the system from my company. But when I before I had my own system and I had my own computer or laptop, I was using Final Cut, not X, but like the Final Cut 7. But I think right now the best starter system is Premiere. Like if you're just getting into it and you're trying to learn how to edit, I mean, if you want to start on Avid, there's an Avid First, I think it's called. That's also pretty legit, and I think it's a free software you can use to learn Avid before you get Avid. It's called Avid First, and I've never used it because I've just jumped onto the real thing. But I think if you just wanted to get into something and learn something on your laptop, and it's like very low maintenance as far as upkeep, I think that
Yeah.
Adobe Premiere system and that suite when it comes with like Photoshop and all the other stuff, I think that's a good starter, a good starting system.
In terms of computer, what computer would you recommend? Mac or PC?
I'm Mac just because it
I,
seems
I
easier
know.
for
I
me.
tell people
I
Mac is
mean,
easy.
I started with PC. Like I started my very first computer when I was in high school was a PC, and I had like an older version of Adobe Premiere that hardly ever worked. But like PC was all I knew. But then when I got on the Mac, and it just I don't know, it just seems easier to me. I know a lot of really dope VFX companies. One in particular, Ingenuity Studios. They're all PC and they do like dope stuff over there. So like I guess PC is good for visual effects, maybe, but I don't know.
Okay, the next question is, so when you finish editing, do they send it to color before you finish, or can you explain that process? Literally, that's what they asked.
Yeah, I mean, traditionally, that's the way it goes. I mean, I'll get the rough cut, they transcode for Avid, or if I'm doing Premiere, they'll make proxies, ProRes. But we're doing an offline edit, and we're making the edit, and we're making all the changes, doing the notes. And once they lock a cut, then we send what they call an EDL, edit decision list. We send that of our edit to the color house with the raw footage from the camera, and they color that, they match it all back, and then do the visual effects and everything. So yeah, normally you would do the color grading after you have a locked edit. But there's a lot of times, sometimes even in higher end work, but mostly in like the do it yourself kind of way, you can do an edit and then color it in the system. There's ways to color footage in Avid, but I think mostly people will use Premiere and then send it to Speed Grade or DaVinci Resolve or something and color it themselves. And it can be done. I always think it's just best to use a professional. Like I
Same,
focus
yeah.
purely on offline editing. I focus on storytelling. And then I send the color grading to the professionals who focus on that, and it goes to the VFX artists who focus on that. That way you can have the best product. I don't know. There's people who can do it all and it works fine, but I just feel like the best project and the best product happens when you have the best people in each field doing their thing, you know?
I remember I was talking to you, I think it was last year or something,
Hmm.
and you was either coming from JLo's house to do some editing.
Yeah.
So one thing that I was curious, does she have like her own editing stuff, or you bring your stuff? You bring your
That
own
was a
stuff.
last minute thing, and it was
Is
kind of
it?
like, yeah. So that was the De Niro
De
video,
Niro, yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
we had a locked edit. Sometimes you have a locked edit, and it's not really locked. So we had a locked edit, but then she got to take another look at it, and she wanted me to sit with the choreographer, and I took my laptop and a little tiny shuttle drive like this,
Yeah.
which has all. That's just why I like working with Avid, because you can make your files really small and just like take your project anywhere. So took my projects to the choreographer and we worked on the dancing a little bit and got that to where she wanted it. And then Lo wanted to sit and like look through her performances and kind of like fine tune the whole video. And she wasn't able to come out to LA where I was at because she was in the middle of
Okay.
like doing things with like Jimmy Fallon and just like getting things going in New York. So they flew me out to her house in NYC. And so I just brought my laptop and HDMI cable and hooked my laptop into her like kitchen television and just like cut there. And so she was just like, eating breakfast and watching the edit. So giving me notes and we just like finished it.
That's
So
good.
it's
So
pretty simple.
the next question is, ask him what laptop does he have? I want all the specific. Is it i7? I want to buy the same laptop as him, please.
No, you don't want my laptop. My laptop is
Is
very
it?
old, and yeah, there's
No,
newer ones out that I'm trying to
if
get,
your
honestly.
laptop is working, we need that laptop because remember you've done some crazy things on that laptop. That's a
I've done things on
legendary
the
laptop.
laptop. I've done things on an actual system. I've done things on Joseph Kahn's laptop. So
Okay.
obviously the laptop doesn't really matter.
But what is yours? This guy really wants to know. He
He really
literally
wants this
messaged me
laptop.
like 4 times. Like,
Okay,
ask this
it's
guy,
a.
is he an i7? What type of laptop? Because I'm gonna buy the same laptop.
Okay, I'm zooming on it right now. Let me see. It's a about this Mac. It's a 13-inch screen. I'm using Mac OS Mojave version 10.14.6.
Yeah.
I got about I got about 16 gigs processor, 2.7 gigahertz. So I think you can do a lot better, but go ahead.
But see, that's good because I've seen so many people on YouTube focusing on the best computer for editing, and they go about
Yeah,
this crazy space. But with
yeah,
me, I've always say like a camera or a computer is just like a cooker. You know, when you're a chef, you ask for like ingredients, not just a cooker.
yeah.
But yeah, that's good to know. I'm sure this guy's gonna be happy when he watch this video. Like, yeah, I'm gonna get, I'm gonna get the same. But another question is, so now that you've done all these big things, and what is your greatest achievement, and what would you advise someone who's starting up?
Well, I think for anyone starting, the
Yeah,
main thing you should do is keep working, building your reel. I mean, there's ways to work yourself up a ladder of some sort in editing. There's assistant editing, there's, PAing if you want to work on set.
yeah,
But I don't think anyone can ever really like give you a shot unless you have something that you show that you can offer. You know
true.
what I mean? Like I got my shot strictly from Joseph Kahn. But like, if I would have met him online the way I did, and I had nothing to show, then I just would have been another fan, and I would have continued to be a fan, working at Starbucks, and I would have been fine because I would have been going to the movies every weekend like I've been doing since I was 12. So I have no problem with that. But I had something that I could offer, and we got along and just started working with them. You know what I mean? And then that built on to working with other people and working at a company. So I think that anyone starting out needs to just, especially right now when you can shoot things a lot easier than it
I
was
know.
back when I was coming up. You had to rent cameras and rent lighting and do all this stuff to even try to shoot something yourself.
Yeah,
All you need is this
and
right
you'll be
here,
able to go.
and you are set to show what you can do. And you can make your own websites now. You got Instagram. You
True.
got, I mean, I should be asking other people like how to get started. Like right now, these kids have way more, way more
Do you know,
access to things.
one thing I've noticed, you don't use Instagram a lot. And bro, your work, I've seen some people who've not even done even half of what you've done, but their Instagram is popping. I'm like, look at this guy, what he's done. Like, why don't you use Instagram now? Is it because you're
I
busy?
use it. I use a lot, but I think I just use a lot for just my kids and my
You use
videos.
Instagram story than you actually post.
Yeah, I don't post a lot of my work because I don't know. I don't want to. I feel like a lot of the editors that I respect, that I look up to, don't post at all, and
True.
it's hard. Like I'll look up a video, or I'll look up a commercial that somebody cut. I'm like, hey, why this guy is like he's not even on social media. Like most of the editors I look up to only cut movies, and so they're just like, I don't need to post anything because you see my stuff in theaters, you
Yeah,
know.
true.
So like I usually post stuff when I just like really think it's dope, like
I'll
that
be
car
like
commercial
that
that
when
I just finished.
I'll be like that in like 5 years when I've got all the
Yeah.
dough. No, no.
Yeah. No, I mean, like I just like I posted that car commercial, and I don't know if I'll post anything else this year, but like I just posted that because I really enjoyed it and it was super dope. And so I like the stuff that Joseph shoots. And sometimes, I get to like do some martial arts stuff with friends. And so I post stuff like that. But like, yeah, I just like to do work, and if people see it, cool. And hopefully there's another movie and you see that on a big screen, not just on your phone. If we
True.
can ever go to theaters again.
We might be able to do later. You never know.
Yeah.
So here's another question. Ask him to tell you all the music video he's worked on in less than 1 minute.
All the music videos I've worked on in less than one
Yeah.
minute. I don't think I could do that.
Do you even remember all of them?
I uh I mean, on the grand scheme of things, I
Yeah.
got friends who've cut way more than I have. It's still a lot to just like think of all the videos. I mean, I say my favorite ones are probably the Imagine Dragons and the J-Lo one and Mariah Carey Christmas. And I'm thinking of all the ones that have dope dance scenes in it because those are my favorite kind of
That mean
videos.
you like dancing.
Yeah.
I can tell.
Yeah.
Okay, that
But
is
yeah.
good. So music video again. How no, how long does it take him to cut a music video?
Now that also varies. I mean, it's like when I'm cutting with Joseph again, it's on set, so we'll have a basic edit done by the time we're done rapping. So 1 day shoot, about a day for a rough cut. 3 day shoot, 3 days for a rough cut. If it's a traditional way where the director shoots everything and sends it to me, I could probably have a cut done in a day and a half. Depends on how much uninterrupted time I have. Um, but yeah, I think overall, as far as like getting an edit done, sending it in, getting notes back and revisions, that whole process takes about a week or two.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so give me five best advice that you advise someone right now who want to be like you or who want to focus on being the best editor. Five advice. Let's go.
Okay. Well, I say 1A, if you don't know what you want to do, but you just love filmmaking, I'd say try film school. 1B, if you do know exactly what you want to do, maybe don't waste your time and money with film school and just start doing it and getting your stuff out there and meeting people. uh, that leans into 3, which is actually meet people. You should meet as many filmmakers as you can, do a lot of networking. Internet is great right now because not only can you meet people who are in the field and doing what they do, you also can show them the work. And I think a lot of filmmaking right now is about partnerships and collaboration, and you just need to people need to know who they can work with. Um, if you're trying to get started in features, I think the best way to go in that route is to find your way into like an intern or production assistant in post somewhere at any kind of studio and try to get into assisting because there's ways to jump from music videos and commercial editing into features, but it's a lot less structured than it is if you were to just start assisting in features. Like I have a bunch of friends who started assisting in features and in television and worked their way up and are just cutting TV shows and movies left and right. And it's kind of just like that's kind of like the working your way up ladder that works. You know what I mean? But if you kind of have the bug to just like go out and do things, you have the equipment, you have the technology, you can just shoot what you need to shoot and show it, and then work kind of just comes to you at that point.
Especially now, I feel like the young people have more. They're more lucky because back in the days, for you to get a camera, is either your dad is rich or you know someone who owns the camera. But now there's so many things. There's so many things, and they've got the
Yeah.
internet as well. There's
Oh
YouTube.
yeah.
You can learn from
iPhone
YouTube.
is the greatest creation, I
I
think.
know.
iPhone, and I mean there's other I think Samsung has shoots 4K as well, but
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I don't know, the lenses on those new iPhones are pretty gnarly, and you
I'll
can just do
send them
whatever you
to
want.
you so they can watch how you use your phone to film them standing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But those are all the questions that I have, man. Honestly, I appreciate
Okay.
so much, bro.
For sure.
Thank you
Yeah, it's
so
fun.
much, and hopefully we'll get to chat some other time as well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
What are
well,
you
once
working
it's
on now?
crazy. I'm in the middle of a couple of different commercials. I'm doing some stuff for GM, General Motors. I got this Cadillac thing happening. We just finished the Lexus thing. As you can see, I really like cars. So,
Wow.
but and then that's it for now. I mean, there's some other stuff in the pipeline, but those are the 3 main jobs I'm kind of juggling at the moment.
Anything you want to say to my audience?
Hey, everybody just keep doing what you're doing. I think if you got the talent and the passion for filmmaking, all it takes is the hustle to go along with it and things just happen. You know what I mean? It may not happen right away. Like I said, I started doing this stuff back in '04. I didn't move to LA till 2010. So, you know, you just got to be patient and keep doing what you love and it'll happen.
But yeah, bro, thank you
Cool.
so much. Say hi to the family and nice
Will
talking
do.
to you. I'll speak to you later again, yeah?
All right, man.
All right,
Take it
peace.
easy.
That's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Like I mentioned, click the link in the description. Take you to his Instagram, spam him with a lot of questions and comments, and tell him I sent you. Listen, this is your chance to get inspired, also learn from this guy, because he's in the game and he's telling you things based on experience. And for those of you who's driving, for those of you who are home, make sure you put on your seatbelt. Click the link in the bio and listen to the podcast. This is Production Talks, and our next guest is going to be Jacob, who's going to teach you how to be a good filmmaker, make money, scale your business, and all that stuff. You know, obviously, if you know Jacob, you know who he is. And so make sure you share this video with your friend, family, so they can also learn something. And for those who's wondering where to send in their questions, please go to my IG, and I usually post it on my story. That's it, and stay creative, and see you later.